Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, the audience discretion is advised.
Welcome to Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip through nerd and pop culture. I am Jody Kite.
I am Brady Davis.
I am James McCarthy.
And that's all that's here.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Nobody else.
We'll just jump into what I've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been watching Ouija board movies for the podcast, the Fearology. You know that old show.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Your personal history through
Fearology.
Fearology.
that sounds. What was that? Didn't you two have a thing called Vibology? No, that was Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam had Vibology.
Yeah.
Vitology.
Was it Vitology?
Vitology. Yeah. So the episode is a brief history of talking boards in cinema.
Oh, okay.
Shameless plug.
I go through a little.
Do I have to hit the reverb again?
No.
Okay, just checking.
I go through a brief history of the Ouija, and then I go into like the.
Can't we get sued because aren't we supposed to call it spirit board?
No,
because Ouija is like a Parker
some
Brothers
of them
thing.
actually have like.
I don't think they have
were
the
like
trademark
two
on the
Ouija
name.
movies.
They don't have the trademark on the name. They have a trademark on the font.
Oh,
you know how copyright is really weird.
Yeah, that's
regard.
Trademark and copyright are two
well, they are, but you can get around.
I'm sorry to be pedantic on that,
fine.
but
you get around a lot of that.
I made an A in intellectual property in law school.
The most famous
that's all I got. I mean, shit.
horror movie with a witch board, spirit board, talking board, Ouija board is Witchboard the movie, and it's got Tawny Katane in it. You know
what era?
1986.
Oh, it was 10 out of 10.
Right before or right after the Whitesnake video that she danced on the car.
Okay.
In the famous 1985 song by Bowling for Soup. Mm-hmm. I've been doing that, and I started playing 2077, the video game,
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. I'm like 6 or so hours into it. I was disappointed at the very beginning because I didn't get to role play as my background character. I picked
He picked the one starting background that doesn't feel like it matters.
Yeah, I
like
picked Corpo.
Yeah, he picked street kid. You're a street punk, and you go on to be a street punk. Nomad, you go across the country, but you're stuck in Night City, so you become a street punk. Corpo, you start on the moon, on the fucking moon.
Yeah,
it's like, and then you become a street punk.
And then
Why?
20 minutes later, you're like kicked out of the corporation because of collusion. I was like, well, that was fun. Good thing I picked that path. But actually, I've been enjoying the game, with the exception of the driving parts. The driving in that game sucks ass.
You need once you get your first motorcycle, just keep that motorcycle.
Yeah, right.
Because cars
are
work.
awful.
Cars don't work.
That is probably some of the worst driving I've seen outside of Mass Effect.
If you ever wanted to know
Mass
what
Effect
it felt like
terrible.
to be a Tesla AI-driven smart car, drive a car.
The driving
in
in Mass
Cyberpunk.
Effect was worse in the original version.
Yeah.
100%.
I
yes.
can imagine.
It's actually like 10 times better. But yeah.
So that's pretty much all. Not a very busy week for me. Jay, what have you been up to?
More Metal Gear Solid 5. I've been getting more headshots with tranquilizer guns. I'm up to 60 meters now.
Nice.
Okay.
You gotta, at this point, the Coriolis effect is coming into play, and it's kind of fucked, but whatever.
Yeah, if you believe in that sort of thing.
Yeah, who fuck science anyway.
And RPGs with that name.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. That's an awesome game.
Yeah, there you go. And then also I've been playing a little FTL, Faster Than Light. Subset Games, who also made Into the Breach. If you like very quick to play like games, like quick to play versions of stuff like XCOM and stuff like that, and I love the fact that it's all fail. That's part of the fun of the game. Is you fail and you go on and you figure out how to do it better next time. It's very good. I enjoyed both of those games. And that's pretty much it outside of the homework that we had for this episode. And 2 of my friends got married.
Yeah.
That was, and it was an awesome party, and nobody got hurt.
Yeah, nothing bad happened.
Nothing bad happened.
There were no
nothing bad happened while
no
I was
police.
there.
Yeah,
I don't know what-
that's true.
Now, when I went home, who knows?
You and Holder left, and then the whole like moral center of the party just disappeared.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the kind of effect that we
Did
have.
anyone get a beer can thrown at their face?
No. It would have happened
Yeah.
if we'd allowed the beer cans to be out.
Yeah.
The horseradish sauce was amazing. My thanks to Jacob, the beard chef
I'm not
down
a
here on the coast. So
Horseradish guy, so I never tried those.
never tried that. Well, what foods did you have there that were very good? Because most of them were.
the catfish was really good.
Mm-hmm.
The chicken was really good. The steak kebab things, they were a little bit
By the
not
time,
as well done as I liked.
by the time I got to into the food line, the kebabs were all gone. That
Yeah,
was
there was-
like the first.
I got
thing.
one of them. It may have been that like I got one that like the last one that was left. But everything else was like really good. The bread pudding stuff was really good. It was a very nice wedding. It was at a country club, so I felt like we were just seconds away from being challenged by by the snooty upper crust people.
And then
to a
I
round of
was.
golf.
But that's a whole other story for another time. Join us for Travelers on the Omnibus Dark.
Behind the wedding.
Behind the wedding stuff.
Yeah.
I will say this. They've been renovating the area, and we found out that they finished renovating the ballroom that we were in at 10 a.m. that day.
Wow.
And then because of rain, we had to use it extensively. So I pretty much chalk up all of the happy fun times that happened after the wedding to paint fumes.
Yeah,
Pretty much. So
that
it was
would
very
do
good.
it.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Paint
There you
fumes
go.
and alcohol.
Brady,
Yeah, no.
what you been up to, man?
What-
I'm sorry. I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say, Michael and Caitlin, God bless y'all. It was a great time.
was a
Glad
very
to have
good
been
wedding.
there. Thank you
Very
very
nice
much.
wedding.
Thank you much for the invite.
I appreciate a quick wedding.
Yeah.
It was like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
Damn,
we were in.
that was super
we were
fast.
out. We were getting drunk, and
Yeah.
that might have been the problem.
Or the fun.
Yeah.
Well, for most of the time, it was the
I
fun.
still have a scar. Anyway,
So yeah, it was a good time.
I drank purified water out of a can.
That's impressive.
Yeah. That's the last I've got on that.
Okay. Brady, what you been up to?
Not much, to be honest. I've finally started painting the 2 figures that I was given by Holder and Jay. Finally got around to starting those.
Good
so
stuff.
maybe I'll actually get those done pretty soon.
Yay.
Probably not pretty soon, but I've at least started on them. So
That's good.
that's a big step.
It's good to know.
I've had trouble starting painting, so that's a part of it.
Like last week, I had to put a hold on those
Yeah.
because it was just like, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there has been a lot of shit. I would have started them last week, but there was the wedding, and then the next day I just didn't feel like it. Let me see. So at the end of this month, I may no longer hate my job because I'm getting a new one.
I was hoping that's what you were going to say after that.
He dropped the information on me at the wedding, and it's like the first thing I did was shook his hand violently.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. I put in my 30 days notice because that's what you have to do at my shitty ass job to get your vacation, and I want my money. So there's that. I'm going to be working for
Censored.
Yuppies.
Censored.
Christ, why did that
Awesome.
just fly out of my brain?
Wait, I have to ask: are you stroking?
Maybe because I did have to deal with locking my keys in my car earlier.
Oh,
so
yeah, that
I'm
happened too.
Time.
So I'm very close to on tilt. I blame that as to why I lost the wingspan earlier.
Who won that game?
Gomez did.
There you go.
He also, it's probably no coincidence that he also, was tallying everything up. So,
Okay.
so I'm at least going to blame that as well.
Okay.
It's very convenient.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. It's more money. It's going to be kind of doing similar things where I'm working from home and traveling to people's houses to try and recruit them to be, either a mentor or a mentee. But I'm pretty excited about it. Hopefully this place doesn't suck. But if it does, you'll hear about it. So.
So do I need to preemptively bleep out what you already just said, just
I'm
in
not
case.
gonna listen to this.
Yeah, but like other people might, and then it'd be like, I wonder how he treats his former employers. Let's say, oh God.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen to you, brother.
And we just have like
Nervousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely bleeping that one.
Yeah. Fuck this place.
Oh, so many bleeping. I think I'll do one in reverse so that Satan gets involved.
Hell yeah,
Great.
Satan.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go.
well.
Yeah.
Anything else? Is that it?
I saw a thing where I think it's in Pennsylvania where the court has ruled that they have to let them have an after school Satan club.
Yeah.
So
Sweet. Hellfire.
Yep,
Let's
there you
go.
yeah.
Yes. Jason Holder from Travelers on the Omnibus. Oh my God, I've put him on the show accidentally. Welcome to the show, sir. Because it's apparent we've lost Ethan because he hasn't talked yet, even though that's part of a bit.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Hi guys.
Shit!
I'm back.
Is that a happy shit or a surprise shit?
No, it was a Scott shit.
We haven't been
hilarious.
looking at him this whole time.
Yeah.
He's been avoiding.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm back from my vacation.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yes.
The weight of us having to carry the show without you has been tremendous.
I know.
Was it?
Some might say negligible, but whatever.
I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
wait, Christopher Gomez is waving goodbye. Chris, why did you cheat them out by counting the numbers yourself? You know you can't count.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't.
I cannot. But people still trust me with their monies, which makes it even scarier.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll give you that. That's pretty much true. There you go. I don't know if this is picking up on the microphone, so
Maybe not.
Definitely not. Fill in the details. Either way, love you guys.
it's we love you too, man.
Love you,
Gomez.
Yeah.
Gomez.
Do you regularly watch the show?
Semi-regularly.
Okay, so I like you.
With your
Okay.
ears.
Yeah.
You watch with your ears.
Yes.
So
yeah.
we'll see you. We'll see you next quarter.
Yeah.
Gomez.
Yeah, we'll see you next when the blood of the goat has turned red.
You'll.
Remember, it has to be a fainting goat before it faints.
That's
the wisdom.
bullshit.
The wisdom of ages.
Yeah. I like how we treated that. The wisdom of ages. Bullshit.
There was heavy sarcasm in my voice.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're good and brought him.
I like to imagine when Gomez just cuts his hair when it finally reaches an inch in length, he finally shows back up.
That could
He
be
probably measures his beard or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or when the
No, you got
steeped coffee that
you got
he
a
does.
point from Whiskey and Wrestling. I remembered it now. Thank God. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're absolutely right on that one.
Ethan, you've done a lot of things since
I've-
you've been gone.
I've done a lot
been
of
a busy
things.
boy.
Since you've been gone. Oh wait, that's Kelly Clarkson. My bad.
Yes.
That's not who you went to see.
Yeah.
No, me and Bianca went to Atlanta, Georgia for a Taylor Swift concert.
As opposed to Atlanta, Spain.
Yes.
Did you have to give up a kidney for the tickets?
No, because I did not pay for the tickets.
Oh, well, that's how you do
That's
that.
an easy
Yeah.
way to do it.
Yeah, just don't pay for them.
Yeah.
And then when you show up, they got a deal anyway.
I will say there was one lady outside of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, like asking like people like, "Hey, can I buy a ticket? I have $2,000 cash."
That would have been
now."
enough.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been
Yeah,
enough.
no. I've never seen so many teenage to middle-aged white women scream and jump at the same time.
That's what you're going to see at a Taylor Swift concert.
But no, had a really good time over there. We went to World of Coke, the aquarium, the zoo.
Did you try Beverly?
I fucking hate Beverly.
Ah,
Yeah, you
yes.
That's what you're supposed to.
If you like Beverly,
no.
they put you in a room and they don't ever let you out again.
To me, the Beverly wasn't the worst part of it.
What's worse than Beverly?
Okay, so they have this white plum Fanta from China, okay?
Continue.
Imagine the barbecue sauce packet from McDonald's.
Okay.
It is drinking that in the purest liquid form.
You have to understand, I love barbecue sauce. I'm a fat man.
Okay,
This
I
might
wasn't
be- this might be
expecting
worth
McDonald's barbecue sauce in my little
In
plastic cup.
in white plum.
White plum
anything.
Fanta. No, I am no. And that's not even the worst part of it. They have like a cleansing area with like fountains of regular Coca-Cola.
Coke enemas.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's not going in
You have
that.
to go behind the curtain.
Yes.
And then they also have these
Dr.
water-
Pemberton's
You
back
are probably
behind there.
wishing for one of those later.
Yes.
But they also have these water dispensers. And me thinking, okay, cool. Regular distilled water that I can drink that's cold.
Nope.
No. The water was carbonated.
That's called sparkling, sir.
Yeah, it's called sparkling
That's
water.
fancy water.
I wasn't expecting sparkling water. Okay, when I think of
That was very Karen what you just said.
Yeah.
It's like, I would like to speak with your manager about
My
this.
water has bubbles in it.
Yes.
I would like these bubbles out.
Can you have your manager extract these
Yes.
bubbles out of my water,
When
please?
I ask for water, I wanted it sans bubbles.
Sans means without.
Yes.
I didn't think if you knew that, Ethan.
Somewhere in my mind, I
There you
knew
go.
it
I know
was
you're
like
not.
that.
I know you're not Latin. So
But the rest of World of Coke was pretty cool.
That's good.
Went to the aquarium. Saw one beluga whale.
they have
Oh,
a
they got
beluga whale
That's
swimming in
awesome.
Coca-Cola. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, that's why he's so fat.
Oh, that makes sense. There you go.
This one whale had the time of his life, just going up and
Well,
down.
beluga
up,
whales are fucking
up
awesome.
and down.
Yeah, because it's high on Coke, and not the booger sugar Coke. The down your throat Coke.
Was it
That's
like the
very
ripped
disgusting.
beluga
No.
whale that's in that picture, or was it just a
It was the one in the picture that was just always vertical, just going swimming up and going down.
Please
swimming
understand,
up
I'm
and
still
going down.
confused. This aquarium is separate from the world of
Yes,
Coke.
it is
Okay.
separate from the
Okay,
world of Coke.
I'm stupid.
had to be
Please
established.
understand. Yeah.
And then there was one that just had a blanket. That was it. It was just swimming with a blanket in its
Wow,
mouth.
okay.
It kept bonking into the glass because the blanket kept covering its eyes.
Aw.
Blanket whales.
Beluga whales are stupid.
Yeah.
But they're still lovable.
Well, it does mean that the walls are solid. 'Cause
Yeah.
if they can take a beluga whale shot. You
They
know.
they said it is 2 feet thick of bulletproof glass.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah.
Clear aluminum.
Transparent aluminum.
Oh, transparent aluminum. My
Yeah.
bad.
Hello, computer. That's
After
a reference
that,
to Star Trek 4.
I believe the day after we went to the aquarium, we took a trip up to Helen, Georgia,
Okay.
which I wasn't expecting the little German houses up in Helen.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't expecting that.
Okay.
So whenever we got off of I believe it was 85 to go take that main road into Helen, I laughed for like 15 minutes because I was not expecting German style houses on a subway, on a Hilton Inn, on a tattoo parlors, on restaurants, or on a subway, on a Wendy's. Every main building on the main street of Helen had the exact same building style. I was not expecting it. And I laughed.
Did you frighten anybody that was like?
No, thankfully
within-
I was in the car.
Oh,
Okay.
just you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the only one laughing because I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
But
okay.
again, it was a very beautiful city.
Mm-hmm.
And the day before, that day, we went to the place called an Illuminarium.
Okay.
Was like projections of like deep space or like a African safari. They have one, I believe it's called like Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Alice in Wonderland theme.
Were they playing Pink Floyd and were you high?
I imagine the people that went to it were.
Okay.
That
that's
is
fair.
that is probably a really
that's
sweet
true.
place to be
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
Bianca was upset because she thought it was, you get to go to all of them in the same trip. Nope. We went to the deep space one.
Deep space is cool.
Yeah.
But I decided to propose to Bianca. And,
Oh wow.
Congratulations.
And we are in,
Congratulations.
Wait. And what did she say?
Yeah, and what
yes.
did she say?
Yes, she said yes. Congratulations.
We are
Congratulations.
now engaged.
This is very nice. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
You've been planning that for like a month and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is a lot shorter than some people. Like that's just like go getting it.
Yeah, I'm glad she said yes because that would have been a very awkward ride home.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That would have been extremely awkward. That it would have been funny if she
It
would have
would
said
have been
no
e-
just for a second, just because she's probably been waiting a little bit for you to ask her.
Well, I got a little worried, okay?
Okay,
So,
all right.
whenever I like pulled out the ring box, she like looked away from me, and I thought she was about to run.
Well, see, I watched the video, and what it looks like what happened was she looked away because she realized that she was on camera and became instantly embarrassed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But no, she loves the ring. She loves everything.
Just the ring, not you though.
My feelings are somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's fair.
We're
Congratulations
engaged.
on it. And then nothing. Oh, we get a little handshake.
like-
we got a Midland handshake from the audience tonight.
It's like in order of things that Bianca loves: the ring, She gets to have a wedding. She gets to plan all that. A couple of other things, and then Ethan's.
Yeah.
Groomsmen gifts you having to give Ethan?
I'm giving one groomsman gift, okay?
Good job putting your foot down on that.
So just one group.
Before we get to it,
just
he's
the
like,
best man.
I had to end up giving 3 gifts somehow. I don't fucking even know what that second one was for.
One groomsman gift.
For one groomsman. There you go.
For each of the groomsmen. One gift
Okay.
one gift per groomsman.
Well, okay. Very good. Very good. And then nothing else happened, right?
I wish I could say that.
Uh-oh.
So-
Time to go for the horror part of the journey.
I claim this to be the happiest and the most frightful trip of my life.
That's a good one, yeah.
So, for reference, on our way to Helen, we stopped at this racetrack on I-85.
Which is a gas station.
Which is a gas station.
RACETRAC, because they couldn't afford the K.
And
Well, Circle K has that.
Yeah, there you go.
Circle
That
K
makes
has
sense.
the K.
Yeah.
Bravo,
That's
sir.
why they circled it. This is ours. No one else gets it.
And we were stocking up on like snacks and drinks because it's like a 2-3 hour drive depending on traffic. And they had these Buffalo Ranch chicken rollers out on like the rolling machines with like the hot dogs and the taquitos. And I got curious and I tried one. It was pretty good. The buffalo chicken was really good. I was excited.
That's good.
And we all had this agreement that, hey, we're going to stop at this exact same racetrack, stock up on snacks and drinks and gas, and we're going to go home. Well,
Like on the way back.
on the way back
Yeah.
home to
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Seems like proper planning.
We get there the Sunday we're leaving, and they don't have the buffalo chicken rollers out, but they do have corn dogs.
See, them not having the buffalo chicken should have been a warning.
Should have been a warning, yes.
In that fact that they don't prepare properly. And I'm
Yes.
just going to leave it at that. This story is all you from now on.
And I got curious again because I haven't had a corn dog in like, I don't know, it's probably like 6-7 years. I want to see if corn dogs are still up there for me.
Yeah.
That's what happened. You were corn dog intolerant.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, one could say that. Yes, and so I ate the corn dog. I ate the entire thing minus the stick. It could have been better. Not even like 30 minutes into the drive, my stomach is killing me. I'm like, okay. Next time we stop at a gas station, let me get some Pepto-Bismol. Let me get a bottle of water, see if this could help me and whatnot. 15 minutes later, not even out of Atlanta, I'm like, hey, pull over the car real fast. Get out, walk over to the little, like the woodsy area. Proceed to throw up said corn dog and other things from the previous day. I knew I was having a bad day. And so
That's a long ride home.
That is an incredibly long.
Yeah, it's still 3 hours, 59 minutes. Uh-oh.
It gets worse. We get back in the car. I'm in the passenger seat. I have the entire thing reclined all the way back. 20 minutes go by, not even. And I'm like, Megas, pull the car over now. We get out, we pull over into this like construction yard area, and I proceed to throw up all the water and the medicine I've just been taking. And I may or may not have lost a good pair of shorts that day.
Montezuma.
Yeah, it was not. I made a 6-hour drive into an 11-hour drive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
God
It
bless,
was
brother.
the worst.
That's why.
sounds awful.
You could not pay me like triple my salary to take that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never.
Well, let me ask this: has this turned you off on the idea of long road trips from now on, or at the very least, I would have to imagine just in the near future, yes. But like, do you think are you going to be getting back on a road anytime
This
soon?
has turned me away from trusting a gas station with food.
There you go.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
the answer.
Yeah, I have a general rule of like, if it's on a roller, don't eat it. Even though I will pass by them and be like, oh, well, that looks okay. I'm just like, no.
Hold on. What? Wait.
Whoa,
Wait.
whoa,
Whoa.
whoa. Hang on a
Hold on.
second.
We got people from the live audience. What, Derek Anderson, live in a living color. What did you just say? Because I've got 4 other people's ears that take place first.
Gas station sushi's not that bad.
Gas station sushi is not that bad. Jason.
Yeah, if you want to take that.
Do what must be done.
Okay, a solid thumbs down.
Thumbs down for gas station.
If it's behind one of those little like cafeteria window things where they've got the food laid out and you can see, you know, they put out new stuff and everything like that. I'm okay with that. If it looks like a reputable place, but yeah, if it's on a roller, I generally don't eat it.
Never again am I trusting gas station food.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Not sealed, unsealed gas station.
Right.
Food.
One of the best chicken products I've ever eaten in my life is the chicken on a stick at the Chevron on University Avenue at the top of the hill in Oxford, Mississippi. At 3 in the fucking morning, you go there and you eat a chicken on a stick. Your whole life is changed for the better for the 5 hours that it's coursing through your body.
Yeah,
it's the greatest thing in the world. I highly recommend that if you're in Oxford town.
I'll remember that whenever we drive through Oxford on one day.
Yeah.
So will it be another 7 years before you eat another corn dog?
Probably, I don't know.
Dude, 7 years from now, go to the Corn Dog 7 in Laurel.
If it's still there.
If it's still, it'll be there. It's like that one thing that always
still never
exists.
been to
Laurel is like 20 years in the past, so yeah.
They still have the wood paneling.
Yeah,
They'll be there.
when me and Sean, my buddy Sean, we went to the corn dog, the only Corn Dog 7 left in Laurel, Mississippi, a few years back, and they still had a video rental place that rented original Nintendo games. Mm-hmm. It was like a time capsule.
Yeah, the Sears there looks like it's from like the 1980s.
It's a 70s mall. You can tell there's wood paneling everywhere. Mm-hmm. So yes,
they still had a Walden Books there when I was going to school in like 2006.
I don't think I've ever been to Laurel.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing there. Like legit, we tried to find like any sort of like video game place or anything like that. There was literally nothing there.
No. It's.
Do they have a McDonald's with the old like playground for children still or?
I mean, more. That's not as I know what you're talking about.
Not really. I don't remember that.
But they have like a Walmart. They're like a Walmart sized town, like cities. They're like it's the biggest city in Jones County, but that's also
it's mostly like gas stations and shit.
It's gas. It's about. I'm trying to think of. It's probably shit. I don't know. I can't think of which city around here it would be close to the size of, but. It's smaller than like Ocean Springs. It's definitely not. Yeah, it's
pretty tiny.
It's smaller than like it's close to Hattiesburg, but it's smaller than Hattiesburg.
Right.
But it's bigger than like Petal. So it's
gotcha.
This is really
at least the stuff on the on Highway 49 there.
There you go.
Yeah, there's like the main highway, and then
that's it.
You try not to take too many left turns because you're gonna end up some places you don't want to be.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Well, if you take 4 left turns, aren't you going back in the same direction, or is it 3?
I don't know.
There you go.
But yeah, it's very easy to get,
that's right.
to get into the wrong place.
If you can't take a right, 3 lefts will give you the same outcome.
3 lefts make a right, yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess that's it for what have we been doing. Do we have any feedback, Jay?
We do have feedback, and again, thank you to all of the wonderful passengers for joining us here on the Omnibus this evening, this morning, or this afternoon, whatever time you're listening us to. If you would like to leave passenger feedback, always you can email us at travelersontheomnibus@gmail.com. Again, that is travelers, 1L, on the omnibus@gmail.com. Jody, what other ways can they get in touch with us?
You can message us directly on Spotify. If we have any polls going, you can vote on those.
Yes, polls and questions. So yeah. So our very good friend of whiskey and wrestling, again, Mr. Jason Holder, sitting and lounging actually very nicely right now. He sent a very good one in to one of our chats. X-Punk or Star Punk or however you or Blank Punk as you would go would generally drop in one or more of 3 boxes: aesthetic, counterculture, and DIY. Now we went a lot with aesthetic and with counterculture. DIY is something we didn't really bring up, and I think anytime, let me say this right now with you saying right, I think anytime we ever are talking about punk, we're gonna send Ethan to Georgia again, and then you will take that spot, and then we will, because that was a big part that we missed, and thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, the idea that like that gun again, that steam gun that your character has, that if you're dressing up in steampunk, that wasn't something that you went down to like old Cogsworth's gear gun emporium. You made that yourself. It was something that like these things and these pieces are something that you put together yourself, and there's that attitude that is in there.
Right. And Holder, didn't you also say that Tank Girl's just punk? Right. It's not really.
I don't drop Tank Girl in any of the blank.
It's DIY in a lot of ways, but it's straight up punk.
Well, like it's all three. It's DIY. It's the aesthetic. She's literally the counterculture. Like she's the like I would say the personification for that world.
I think the only reason why I put it in that category is that it had the corporate, Malcolm McDowell character who's trying to hoard the water.
Yeah, the
oppressive.
Like, that comic, that movie is the culmination of that political punk, and maybe you call it that
political punk. Yeah, I could see that. The comic book's definitely like 100% punk.
It's not cyberpunk.
It's not.
It's maybe that diesel punk.
There's a lot of desert
whenever
too.
Whenever I was like looking up this stuff, like they categorized it as what they call now punk, where it was more in like a it wasn't like a future, like super futuristic, and it wasn't like it didn't have the other aesthetics. So that's kind of I think that's kind of a newer label that they've been adding. Like it's not something that has the lineage of like a steampunk or a cyberpunk, and it's just something that's kind of started very recently.
Hey, to me, I just call that punk and say, "Damn the man."
It is punk. It is punk. It's punk as fuck.
Yeah.
I love Tank Girl.
Speaking of that, like I'd put this in the chat. One of the things that I said was I wanted to do solar, and I found like Pop Culture Detective, who's like a really good channel on YouTube, did a video about solar punk, which was one of the things that I was interested in, and it talked about this newer Disney movie called Strange Adventures, I think, and it talked about how that's kind of got those solar punk aesthetics. Yeah, I might actually have to look those up.
Who was that?
It Can Happen Here.
It Can Happen Here.
A podcast.
That's Evans, right?
That's Robert Evans.
Yeah.
And several other people. I think because it's a daily podcast, so there's like a bunch of people who do it. But it gave me like a lot of books and video games and movies and little shorts and things that are in that aesthetic that I'm probably going to start trying to find and get into. So yeah.
Cool beans. From our friend /enemy/frenemy, Kevin Gallo, a.k.a. Ron and Roosta on Twitch. Do you guys not have Mexican Coke in Mississippi? This was reference to the fact that we sent him to Atlanta to go get us Mexican Coke. And then parts of it became a reference to El Chapo.
There's actually a lot of grocery stores that are like the Latino grocery stores that will have Mexican Coke and things of that nature.
Jack's has way too many. Like they have Mexican Coke and Mexican Sprite.
They have Mexican Coke at the Korean grocery store that's next to Jack's.
Oh, okay.
Now hang on a second.
And Ramune.
When I was at World of Coke in the tasting room, there was a thing called Thumbs Up, which is an Indian-based soda.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. To me, it tasted if India tried to make their own Coca-Cola recipe.
Oh, okay.
But I found out it's curry flavored.
Oh,
curry flavored soda. That's strange.
But
it's very Indian.
It tastes almost identical to Coca-Cola.
Oh, these are interesting times, gentlemen.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
We need to go to Atlanta and smuggle some of that stuff. Or just pour curry powder into Coca-Cola.
I need to find out where Nick found Not Your Father's root beer.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've ever had that. Walmart used to have it.
Not Your Father's Mountain Dew.
Right.
Yeah.
Nick, my buddy Nick Krebs, friend of the show. Sometimes he has to go travel through different states for his job or whatnot. And I don't know if he was in Iowa or Cincinnati or wherever the fuck he was, but he found something called Not Your Father's Root Beer. It's a beer, but it tastes like root beer, completely like IBC, Barks.
That shit's dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I said, because I took a sip and I'm like, oh, this could be trouble.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I forgot which one of our friends, like there was a tea but it was like it was mixed with like either like just a low like alcohol that would get you buzzed, but you don't taste it because it's just like under miles of sweet tea. So like that, like stuff like that could be dangerous. The stuff that we made for was it WrestleMania that year that we did it for that
the
weekend?
Tavern Punch.
Yeah, the Tavern Punch. That was dangerous.
for Halloween.
It was for Halloween. Yeah, that stuff was fucking dangerous.
If you take like this mocha frap I have right here, if you take this and like mix half of it with a really good salted caramel whiskey, that's also very dangerous.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Because the sugar in it offsets the burn like 100%. You can't taste the fucking alcohol. So that's also dangerous. Yeah. Well, I guess that's
no other feedback. Again,
feedback.
Thank you, passengers. If you have any more for us, please let us know. We are dying to hear from you.
Well, I guess it's time for the main topic. Normally, when we do a mixtape, we all submit one album, but the idea came up a while back. I think during one of the game shows that it would be a cool idea.
It was the 50th.
Yeah,
it was the 50th show spectacular.
If one of us would submit 3 albums instead. And I think we're gonna probably try and do that for everybody before the season's over. You know, we'll work it in somewhere where
it's a long way to December. So
we can do that. And so I picked 3 albums, and we're going to start with Soul Asylum first. The band formed in 1983 as Soul Asylum. They were another band beforehand.
I think this was like their 5th or 6th album, the one that we went through.
Something like that.
I can actually pull up the discography.
Well, I have it right here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, I'm not going to go through all their albums, but the album that matters is the one we listen to as far as like their biggest success, because Grave Dancers Union went triple platinum.
Yep.
It came out in 92 during a time where alternative rock was like hitting its like boom, basically.
This is right before Nevermind.
This is right after Nevermind.
Yeah, it's
Nevermind was in November of 91.
91? I thought, why do I always think 93?
That's in Utero. In Utero is 94. I think
94.
In Utero is 94. I want to say Nevermind is. Could you look that up, Ethan? Could you see when Nevermind came out real quick?
I'm pretty certain it's 91.
I'm pretty sure it's the end of 91.
The song or the...
No. The album
Nevermind
by Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Okay. Grave Dancers Union came out in 1992. So their 6th album.
Okay.
Nevermind.
Just curious.
Nirvana. 91.
91.
Yeah,
okay, my bad.
I think it's November 91. I think it's the very end of 91. In fact, when they cracked Billboard with Smells Like Teen Spirit, they were up against, I think, a Celine Dion song for like in
September
the top.
24th, 1991.
They displaced, if I remember correctly, Michael Jackson's Dangerous.
It might, yeah.
I think
it
so,
was
yeah.
one of those. It was one of those, definitely. So, but we're talking about Soul Asylum, and they had 3 big hits off of this album. This is, I think, the 3 main songs is why they went triple platinum, which is Black Gold, Somebody to Shove, and Runaway Train.
Which that would be 213. As far as track listing goes, those are the very first 3 songs.
Those are the 3.
album.
Yeah, Someone to Shove is number 1 in the track listing, and then Black Gold is number 2, and then Runaway Train is number 3. And I think the videos were released in that order as well. I know Runaway Train was I want to say it was the last.
And one of the, if you've heard one Soul Asylum song, you've heard Runaway Train.
That is very true. In fact,
as I was listening to this, like some part of my memory was like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
I've heard this before.
In fact, Runaway Train was not about runaways, but the video that they showed on MTV had a lot of, like, I don't know if it was the band or whoever was involved, but decided, hey, it'd be a great like ad campaign for, runaway kids and stuff if we like put that into the video. And that was, that's a good thing, like awareness is always good. So I think I've talked about this before. I have like 1,000 like top albums, like legit, like not even joking, exaggerating. This album is no longer in that. Like it's not in my top 1,000 albums of all time for my personal albums, because after I think the 5th or 6th track of Homesick, I think.
Yeah, it's 5th track.
After that, this album falls off hard for me. Going back to it, I hadn't listened to it in a very long time. And also, real quick, before I hand it over, out of the 3 albums, I actually listened to the other 2 like twice because I wanted to be more.
The other 2 are heavier on message than this one is. My problem with this album is I think you've got 6 good songs. One very good song. Let me also say Runaway Train won the Grammy for Best Rock song for that year. Something, but this feels like 2 ideas that were glued together and not, it seems, where they connected right. You have this notion of escape and this notion of getting out and like trying to like become new and all this. And then you have these very weird love songs that don't work with that motif like at all. So it feels like 2 like halves of 2 separate albums glued together and they don't work together. That was my feeling as far as like the tone, the whole thing of it, because when it gets to like, yeah, I think once you get out of Homesick, then the message kind of becomes very clear about like get on out, new world. It's about getting out, like breaking out of what you're doing, getting into something new, something like that. April Fools is bad.
That's the one with all the distortion.
No, that was the song. That's the next to the last song, but I can't remember. Let me
99%.
99%. It starts with his voice being distorted, and then everything gets distorted. It's not like they're trying to do some sort of dream thing. It's just like they put so much reverb and other like worldly shit on top of it that the whole thing just doesn't. It falls apart on the weight of all the bullshit they added.
Yeah, that was one of the weirder songs. That one was annoying to listen to.
It was. I'd have to agree
because like they put some very harsh sounds. Maybe if I was listening to it like and not headphones, it wouldn't have been quite as bad. But
no, it was bad listening to it in my car.
I was cleaning the house, playing some games while I was listening to this in my earbuds. I'm like, hang on, I think I skipped a song. Nope, didn't skip a song. I had to replay 99% many times just so I could remember that it existed.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
that you put yourself through that.
Yeah. I like this album fine. I think that I feel like these albums that you picked had a lot of what's the word? I wrote they were
Macho Man elbow drops.
Yes. Yeah. That. They were influential. I don't know why that word. This was interesting because at this time, like, we were getting into like grunge was starting to be a thing, and this was alternative without being grunge.
Yeah, it's very like some of the songs, even some of the like least well made songs come off as almost like southern rock. Some of them.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that. I really like that first song, Somebody to Shove. Like, it started off because I know about Soul Asylum, but Soul Asylum was never one of those bands that I was like, oh, this, because I've heard Runaway Train, and I don't hate Runaway Train, but
right,
just
it's
like it
overplayed.
Yeah, it was overplayed, and it was just like, it was a fine song. It was an okay song to me. So I never really like delved into Soul Asylum. But when Somebody to Shove started, I was like, oh, I might actually like this album. And then by the end of it, I was like, well, that was a fine album. It was okay. I didn't
because like after Somebody to Shove, then you have like Black Gold, and it's like, oh, these are bangers.
Yeah,
you know, like Black Gold is really good too.
Yeah,
you mentioned influential. My one note on Somebody to Shove. This reminded me of early days Goo Goo Dolls, specifically the A Boy Named Goo album, and particularly Long Way Down, where there's a lot of energy behind that song, but it's a mellow, energetic. It's I guess the best way to put it.
Is there a reason like why you picked these albums for us to listen to, or is this or you go like?
Of course.
Dive more into that.
Of course,
later.
yeah. I'll go into that before we go into the next one. Of course, I think we're gonna spend a little bit more time on the next two.
Yeah.
The reason is like, okay, like normally I would say. The other two albums I've listened to a lot, right? This one I listened to a little bit back in the day.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. This is one of the albums where I put it on here for a couple of reasons. One is I have a very wide and different taste in music, in genre, and I wanted to express that, whether it be good or bad, to establish that, like, you know, my taste is all over the place. Like, you may not like what I'm putting out there, but I'm going to put it out there regardless.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care about anybody else's opinions. I want to hear people's output and criticism no matter what. But as far as like me caring, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't care that we shit all over Shinedown, right?
No.
Okay. That's pretty much where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
There. And then, also the three albums, like the Dresden Dolls and the Pixies, were always going to be in that, because I different parts of my life, much like when we were talking about like your stuff and how your stuff was attached to different memories and emotional connections to music and things like that. I'll go into the reasonings for that when we start talking about those other two bands, but the Soul Asylum, specifically, when that album came out, it was a very it was like a new beginnings kind of part in my life, because the album came out. I was 20 when that album came out. I was also listening to the Cramps and different stuff like that too. But it was the first time for me where like music that was good was becoming more mainstream, and that was something that I also wanted to establish also for my picks that I was making. Excuse me.
I will say that something that this does that a lot of this is, of course, this isn't grunge, but like something that this album does, and probably this band, because again, I haven't listened to a whole lot of Soul Asylum, that a lot of grunge bands also do, is that the lyrics are more about a feeling than they are about actually saying something. Most Nirvana songs don't really say anything. It's about the vibes. It's about the feel of the song. And Kurt Cobain even said that. Same thing with like Soundgarden. Like Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains are like the two big ones that actually like they put more meaning in their lyrics, whereas whereas the other two were more about, hey, we're doing a vibe here, man.
Yeah.
And Pearl Jam in particular would go more political, I think, than the other three.
Yeah.
And Alice in Chains would be like darker, like Man in the Box and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Rooster.
But this album does do that, even though it's not a grunge album, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to get us on a tangent about Alice in Chains, and I think that could wait for another episode.
One of the things whenever I listen to someone, like suggest I listen to someone, much like the albums that Jody gave us, when I listened to them once, and just so I can get a feel of the album. Like, I don't really pay attention to like the lyrics at the first, and I'll listen back. I'll do a second run through and actually listen to them, like the rhythm of a song, like the drum beats, how the guitars and the bass, how all that comes together. If there's a keyboard, what technical stuff are they doing with everything? Like, I always go for like the feel of a song rather than listen like digging into like the meaning for a song.
Well, I mean, I have to just jump in and say, like, after, much like what Jay said, after Homesick, right? The songs, especially the slower songs, which there's not many more like upbeat songs after that. They start blending together. Yeah, you start like zoning out.
They could have a lot of them could have been the same song. If you changed the titles on those, I don't think anything of message would have been lost.
Yeah. Right. Which is why I had to rerun 99%, because it just kind of got lost.
Yeah, I do want to call out a later song, Without a Trace. That's the one that actually brings up the Gravediggers Union.
Yeah, that's
Grave Dancers
it was
Union
mentioned.
title.
It was mentioned.
Title.
Yeah.
That one was actually interesting. Of the later ones, that's the one that I like. But to me, I think like my favorite song on there is Somebody to Shove. Like I said, Runaway Train, it's a good song, but I've heard it so many times.
Black Gold is probably my favorite song on the album. Well, Homesick, those are, I like both of those.
I like the notion of Homesick.
Right.
To me, Homesick, there was some awkward phrasing in that kind of irked me, but that's just a personal taste of mine.
Like, I think of like the main six that everyone likes. I have to like, I think I kind of like Runaway Train more, but I actually liked the Sun Maiden
The last
last
song.
Like,
yeah.
I think by that one I was just kind of tired
over
of the
it.
album.
You're over it. Yeah, no, I get that.
I have a 3-word note for the Sunmaid. Hippy dippy bullshit.
It was very
hippy-dippy
It was very
bullshit.
hippy dippy.
I don't mind hippy dippy bullshit, but I think, like I said, by the time I got to the end of it, I was just like, okay, this is okay. Let's
is he personifying the sun? Mm-hmm. Is he trying to talk about a person in metaphor? I wasn't sure about it, and by this point, I no longer cared.
Right. Oh, unless anybody has any other takes on the Soul Asylum album, I think
I will say this: for each of these songs, I let Spotify play out and play to the next song, and play to a next similar song. For mine, this was One Headlight by the Wallflowers, and it kind of linked up. It kind of did there. So, again, going back to that part about influential, I think there's more influence than impact in this album, if that can be said.
Right. Unlike the next album, which had a massive amount of influence, which was Doolittle by the Pixies. The Pixies formed in 1986 with, I'm calling him Frank Black because that's the name he adopted later because the other name is not appropriate, in my personal opinion. But him and Kim Neal and the drummer and the other guy that I can't think of the name of right now because why bother? They had I think Doolittle was their, I want to say it was their second or third album. Pretty sure it's their third. Came out in '89. You find out while I continue to talk. The first time I heard the Pixies was they actually had a video and a heavy rotation on MTV before Alternative broke in 1989, and that was "Here Comes Your Man." That was a video where Frank Black, even though the Pixies, the Boston Pixies, were not a punk band, Frank Black had a very punk mentality and decided that they weren't going to make a conventional video. If they had to make a video for the record label, they were just going to open their mouths whenever the lyrics started and not actually move their mouths to the lyrics. And so if you watch that video, it's really weird. But anyway, the Pixies. So I'll pass that on to you guys, and then I'll recant.
Doolittle is the third album.
The third album
from 1989.
My opening salvo is this: Debaser, 2 minutes 51 seconds. My one thing note: the 90s. Yeah. This is especially the early 90s, but even then, there's some late stage 90s in there. And I looked up something. Has anyone ever referenced or said that they were influenced by that? And there is a quote by Chris Novoselic of Nirvana when they were putting Nevermind together. They were going, "We're going to get shit because we're basically copying the Pixies."
Yeah.
Nevermind was unique enough, but if you're listening to this thing, there's a lot there.
I can't remember what track it is, but there's a track that sounds like it could have been a Weezer song.
Yeah. Yeah. I got
Wave of Mutilation. For me, it's Wave of Mutilation.
The one that I got. Of course, I saw Nirvana and I knew going in about Nirvana because they had talked about it was basically Pixies and the Melvins. That was two really big ones that influenced Kurt Cobain. But I got a lot of Jack White of the White Stripes. He listened to the fuck out of the Pixies, and I've never seen it in an interview, but I know he did because there's some of these where this is a White Stripes song, this is pick one of the other 15 bands that Jack White's been in,
and it kind of goes with what Jody was saying about not punk but punk sensibility. When I think of Fell in Love with a Girl, that sounds punk.
It's a very punk song. Yeah.
But there's even they really are all over the place because there was what is it? Here Comes Your Man feels like 50s.
It's a very Beatlesy song.
It feels like a Beatles song.
See, for me, that felt more Beatles. That felt more Beach Boys with surf and summer rock.
It had some of that too. A little bit of that.
It goes back and forth. There was three. I started out and I was like, oh, this is a 50s style riff, and then it changed into some other thing to the surf rock thing. There's some of them that just feel straight up punk, but then there's some what is it? There Goes My Gun. That was very that had a very heavy groove. There was more 70s stuff.
And Monkey Gone to Heaven.
Yeah.
That one's also very like sort of like laid back and psychedelic
and then Silver was like Western. Was like it felt like it could have been in a like an old Western movie.
I got that feeling. Yeah.
This may give him a boner, but the experimentation here with like different genres feels a lot like Mr. Bungle, in that they're trying a whole bunch of different shit.
I like this so much better. I'm not a super big fan of the Pixies, but I like this so much better.
I think almost all of us can agree with that. But what I'm saying is, to me, the experimentation was focused. There's a meaning behind this album. There's an actual like, we're trying to tie some stuff together rather than like, imagine a armless, legless, blind, and deaf man being on a trampoline.
Yeah,
like it's just the way it is.
Shit posting the album.
My favorite songs on Doolittle, "Wave of Mutilation,"
which I played on Rock Band.
Yeah, Here Comes Your Man. Mostly the singles. "Gouge Away" is really good. I like "Gouge Away." It's the last song on the album.
Yeah. I really liked "Silver," like that Western. That Western
Silver's
feel
really good.
And to go, and I apologize for
very refreshing.
No, that's fine.
"Wave of Mutilation." The notion behind that, and I can't remember if it was the lead singer or if it was someone else in the band, but it was the fact it was a Japanese salaryman that murdered his family and is driving his car off a pier into the ocean.
Yeah.
So when I say like Mr. Bungle, like there's this notion of very extreme imagery that's kind of being put through, except where we're intensifying the extreme in Mr. Bungle, we're actually trying to be more mellow with it here.
And then you got like Mr. Greaves that starts out with like a straight up reggae groove. Like that is the quintessential reggae, and then it changes into like 3 or 4 other things while they're going through.
I was playing a game on my computer listening to this, and I was like, "Ooh, I can like head bobbing to Mr. Greaves."
Also there's a spider web of different projects that spawn off the Pixies. So Kim Neal was the bassist in the band. She was the female vocalist, even though you didn't hear her sing very much. On another Pixies album, Where Is My Mind? Yeah, she does the haunting angelic vocals in that because Frank Black wanted to sing all of the songs and write all of the songs, and that eventually became a problem. And so when they were having a little bit of downtime, Kim's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do this side project. I'm gonna call it The Breeders, and I'm going to
I've heard of them.
I'm going to Cannonball. That was their big one. I'm going to form this band with my sister, and what would be the bassist in that band was the chick who formed Belly.
Oh, okay.
Feed the Tree. That was her only hit. So like the members in the band kind of like spread off. Frank Black had a couple of solo albums as well. Didn't do very well, but Pixies.
My favorite was "Gouge Away."
"Gouge Away" is really good.
It's my favorite song of the album, and I don't know why I got this notion, but it's like this is referencing something like old literature, and I did not. And then looking up, I found it's Samson and Delilah.
Oh, okay.
And you can get that from those lyrics, and I think that was very cool. I think it was a very good way. Like it's not there, but you can sense it. Like John Cena, it's untouchable, but he's forcing you to feel him. It's just the way it is. I had to get a John Cena line in there. I don't know. I think it's on a bingo. I've just started J Bingo accidentally.
I'm really curious as to think what Ethan's outlook is on this album.
I definitely groove to it. Like I can see I see why a lot of people like this this album. I liked it. By the way, I liked all the albums when I was listening to them. I think like "Gouge Away," "Silver," "Mr. Greaves," those are probably the ones I liked the most from it. However, the most memorable is "Monkey Gone to Heaven."
This monkey's gone to heaven.
Mainly,
I was like, isn't that a nursery rhyme or something like that?
Mainly for the, and I want to be correct in this. At some point, it just started screaming like, "The devil is six, the devil is six."
And what's weird is in the last album, that number attaching it with the devil comes up again which I thought may have been another through line for all of these, and it ended up
accidental.
Yeah, but both times, Soul Asylum fucking crashed the car. We had no through line on those.
Yeah. I like this.
Oh,
I
cool.
liked it a lot more than I was thinking of.
With me, like the Pixies, I appreciate them more than I like really get into them.
I get
like,
that.
I like "Where's My Mind." That's a good
That's a really
song.
good song.
And really and truly, like that's the only Pixies I've never explored them because they're just not like
In your
they're
wheelhouse.
not in my wheelhouse. But I do realize that they are a good band and they are very influential, and I appreciate them for all of that. I found out like going into this, like none of these songs were familiar, but then what is it? Hey, I've actually heard that song before. I can't. Maybe on a movie or something because because the "We're Chained" part is very familiar.
Gotcha.
That the way that he says that.
Sorry, but "Here Comes Your Man" was also one that I very much liked. I liked on the album.
Yeah, like all the songs were very interesting.
Yeah.
And,
Hey, to me, felt like an inspiration to later in the '90s British rock. Particularly the way the way Black sings that sounds very much, at least into my brain, like Gavin Rossdale from Bush. Jesus Christ.
There's a Pixies reference in the Bloodhound Gang cover of "The Roof Is on Fire" when Jimmy Pop goes, "I am not black like Barry White. I am white like Frank Black is."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember that. I
Yeah.
have. That's a good song. I like that
Yeah.
song.
But just going back to the influential stuff, like Tame sounded like early Smashing Pumpkins.
Like off of Gish.
Yeah, Monkey Gone to Heaven. I wrote I like the groove. This is Les Claypool if he was more serious.
Yeah. Laid back.
Yeah, just laid back, like almost absurd metaphor, but here it's very pointed and very kind of like going towards something that he's trying to talk seriously. Les Claypool, I always think, is like just trying to have fun.
Right.
Like he's
Yeah,
trying to
Les
be the
Claypool
court
doesn't take anything seriously.
He's trying to be the court
he's
jester.
having fun and also look at what I can do on the bass.
Yes. Yeah, because he's a fucking god on the bass.
But Tommy the Cat. But yeah, that's the Pixies. Real quick, also just to mention, like, in case anybody's like, it's like, Jesus, how does Jody have like a top 1,000 albums? Because I don't listen to these albums often.
Yeah.
I will, like, I haven't dipped into the Pixies in probably over 10 years because I have like a couple of regulars on my rotation, and then which is what we're about to get into. But for the most part, there'll be like an album like, oh, I remember listening to this album 5 years ago. Let me listen to it again. And then it'll be gone again into the ether forever for a while.
Fun facts. The Pixies, Franz Ferdinand, and Bully are playing at the Bayou Music Center in Houston in June.
The Pixies are actually going to be in New Orleans pretty soon.
Yeah. The
And
Cure
oddly,
is also
and oddly, Les Claypool is either going to be in Mobile or New Orleans pretty soon.
the reason why I just mentioned The Cure, because the first song after playing through this was Just Like Heaven from The Cure.
Yeah.
The Cure is playing like 2 weeks from now in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans.
Pixies are going to be in New Orleans in June 21st.
Yeah, I knew like
Also with Franz Ferdinand and Bully.
once you buy like some tickets off of Ticketmaster or through different places, like they're gonna keep sending you. So they send me like these things all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
like Ticketmaster, they send me things that are happening in the stadium.
The Pixies broke up and got back together several times during their career. And actually, I thought they had broken up when Kim formed the Breeders, but apparently it was like a few years after that where they broke up the first time. So yeah. Also, they were really fucking big in Japan. No surprise there. They're fucking huge. Really huge in Japan.
I think they also had a bigger impact in Europe.
They had a big impact in Europe,
especially
too.
with their second album that I cannot remember the name of, because again, just looking up just
Right.
some just information on them just in general. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah,
So-
I think more influential than impactful.
Right. No, I'd have to agree. Just because, like, it's weird. We tend to look at like whole decades and not lesser time periods. And sometimes you have like a really weird time period, like between like 1988 and 1990, where like a lot of different shit happened.
Yeah,
like there was
those
like
in-between
a
times.
random new wave band would start in 88 and be over in 2-3 years. Like Information Society, I think they were 86. But yeah, so the Pixies. And now we're moving on to the Dresden Dolls. It's Amanda Palmer, and I cannot remember the drummer's name to save my life. So they formed in I think in 2000, and they had their first album was on an independent label. That's the one that has like their earliest, most famous song, which is "Coin Operated Boy" on it. I think that's their second album, actually, which is a song about vibrators. It's a metaphor for vibrators.
They only have 5 released albums.
They don't have a lot of albums because they were a punk cabaret band.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also saw the term dark cabaret thrown about.
That's also true. And in the early days, they did a lot of touring, and so they would put out an album and they would just tour off that one album for like a couple of years and just make the rounds doing that. And really, Yes, Virginia is their actual second album, because I don't count the first album because it was more of an EP on the indie label. But Yes, Virginia is the album we listened to.
And that I almost didn't listen to, because when I went to Spotify, I went Dresden Dolls, Virginia. And that's a problem, because their third album is No Virginia,
which is outtakes from Yes, Virginia.
And that was what I started listening to. And then fortunately I looked at I looked back at the main chat for the show, and I was like, oh wait, scrub this. Okay, we're going back.
Yeah,
in.
we started having to screen cap track listings, because depending on what streaming service you're listening to, the songs may play out of order, or if the album Sleep Token has like an instrumental version of the actual album, that's also an issue.
And also, like, if you're going to watch Old Boy, make sure you watch the right Old Boy.
Yeah, definitely. Holder, when we were talking to him about like what albums we were playing, he actually let me know that this is Amanda Palmer is married to Neil Gaiman.
Yes. In fact, they did an album together.
Yeah.
And they've done several things together, projects, and all that.
And if they have kids, they've really done some things together.
They have two. They have two children.
There you go.
Yeah. I was like listening to this. Like I think I'd heard of the Dresden Dolls, but I never like listened to them. Like all of these are albums that I know of these bands. I've just never listened to much of their stuff, or in this case, any of their stuff. And like halfway through, I was like, wait, is this just piano and a drum? I was like, oh, okay.
I think of the 3 albums, I think I enjoyed this one the most.
This is a very interesting album. It's very different, because it does have that. Was it you, Jay, that said cabaret? Like
punk cabaret.
Punk cabaret.
Cabaret, dark cabaret.
That was the word. Like that was the word that I was kind of grasping for while I was listening to this, but I never could quite reach.
Right.
There was like I put and again, like I don't know much about the punk scene, and I know when he listens to this, Holder is probably going to send us messages informing me about how right or wrong I am about this. But I got like a post Riot Girl feeling from this.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like that to me too.
I hadn't thought about that till you said that.
I hadn't either.
Yeah, no, I get. I'm there. Yeah, I can see that.
It's like if Tori Amos would have been edgier.
Yeah,
kind of, and had drums. Yeah. Maybe, probably not. But So I was talking to Jay about this, and the thing is, like, this feels at first like a concept album, and there's a couple of tracks that don't feel like they belong on it.
Yeah, there was like when I got to, what was the song?
Doolittle?
I can't remember. I got somewhere and I was like,
real quick, Brian Villon.
Brian Villon is the drummer.
Okay. Finishing my thought, I got to one song and I was like, wait, is this whole entire thing telling a story? But on Amazon Music, the other 2 albums, I like to, if I can, pull up the lyrics. So I'm reading the lyrics while I'm listening to it. They had a thing where you could automatically pull up the lyrics. This one did not, so I had to go to Genius. And in Genius, there were a couple of times in there where some dude named Brian, who was a verified like dude, was like giving comments on the song, and it's
Brian,
it's
the
drummer,
it's
that guy.
Oh, nice.
Because there's one part where he says, "Oh yeah, this is the reference. This is where the first time where she mentions me.
Yeah.
I was like,
by that guy, she means 50% of the band.
Yeah. It was on the one about.
He's an excellent drummer.
Oh, it was on Mandy Goes to Med School where where
yeah.
she mentions Brian. She's talking about that guy, the other guy who does back alley abortions. Yeah, this is a very interesting album. Like I said, this isn't like something that I appreciate, like that cabaret, like musical, like there was a music theater feel. Like some of these songs could have been like you could see them performed and sung on stage.
Yeah.
Or in like I was thinking of like Piano Bar. Like this is something where
I could see like if you took like and I've thought about this outside of before I even submitted these albums to the show that Sex Changes, Mandy Goes to Med School, and Mrs. O could be tied into some sort of weird dystopian orphanage situation happening. But there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Sex Changes is wild.
Yeah.
As far as the lyrics goes.
Yeah.
And then like Genius was telling me like Miss O is about the fucking Holocaust, and I was like, what the fuck?
Miss O is so yeah. Miss O, that's what it feels like. Yeah.
My note for that is this is the happiest misanthropy since T.S. Eliot.
Miss O is actually the story about Miss O is it's based off of a letter that a little girl wrote to a newspaper asking about Santa Claus, and someone like they responded in an editorial basically by saying, "Yes, Virginia, the world is all in love."
Yeah.
And basically it's a letter.
There is a Santa Claus.
Pretty much. So there's a lot of metaphor in there. There's a lot of
there's metaphor throughout, and sometimes she's just very open. Like on Backstabber, where I was like, God, whoever this is about, she fucking hates this person.
Oh yeah.
Not Backstabber, but there was another one.
Delilah.
It might be it is Delilah.
Yeah.
Like Delilah is Delilah
was where I was like, is this album like telling a story? Like, is there a through line through this?
I think each song is telling its own separate story.
Really, truly.
I think it's a collage of different stories rather than just one overall thing.
Yeah.
I would say for Delilah, that song is a breakup song from the vantage point of the best friend.
Yeah.
The one that's like looking outside. It's like,
I was reading like Genius had a lot about this song, and they were talking about how like she had said like some of this is literally things that I have went through, and then some of these is things that I was the friend having to see the person lose themselves in this abusive relationship. So she was like, this is like a mix of things that actually happened to me and things that happened to friends that I had to deal with because I was the close friend.
So for the listeners, so Delilah is about, like Jay said, it's about a best friend watching her friend go through a terrible relationship, and it's there's a line where it's just like I'm at Denny's on Route 5. You won't believe what he's done. And she's like, "Is that a fact?"
Yeah.
He's probably in his bedroom watching porno. Is also a line in that song is probably the most like gut punch, I think, as far as the topic of what's going on in there.
There was a thought in my head while listening to this, and it finally kind of crystallized at one point with Mandy Goes to Med School. Was any of this album in Promising Young Woman? Because there are points in time in that movie that, to me, I don't say line up perfectly, but evoke images of that movie.
I haven't seen that movie. So.
Nothing. I don't remember anything like of this in there. But the woman who wrote it might have listened to this quite a bit. I don't know.
The images that play in that movie just came to my head while I was listening to this. And I mean that in a very good way, because that's a very well done movie.
There is another song that's a gut punch, and that's Me in the Minibar, which is like her spending her birthday by herself in a hotel room getting drunk.
I was just about to say, like, that's the one song that like did not that I was just like, oh my God, can this song get over? Like there was something about this song where I was just like, okay.
It was too repetitive for me.
I think for me, it was like, okay, I see where this is going. And it did, and I was just like, oh my God. Like I literally wrote, this is excruciating because it was just so slow and repetitive.
Well, it's 4.5. I think if you would cut off 30 seconds of that, I think you don't have
possibly,
that problem.
but like and like by then, like there had been a couple of songs that kind of had this, like First Orgasm is about, you know, her breaking up and you know, jilling off to get
that one creeped me the fuck out.
There is a line. There is the one line that I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, you can't listen to that on speakers with a whole bunch of people around.
I think
you're like, oh my God, I feel
real
dirty.
quick. My take on that is that she's so not paying attention to anything that's happening, and that's why it's mentioned, but it doesn't come across that way.
Yeah.
Okay, no, so I get done with like washing dishes, doing laundry.
Oh, you listen to this on speakers.
No. I have my earbuds in. Okay.
Okay, that was probably the safe bet.
I sit down on my computer. I'm playing an emulator for a Pokemon game that I'm doing with my buddy James.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And I'm playing. I'm chaining up.
Oh no! Nintendo called the Pinkertons.
Jesus.
Continue, please.
And the song comes on. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's very pretty.
It's a nice melody.
Yeah.
And it's like my first orgasm. What?
Yeah.
I would have rather there had been like there's a dog that's barking and running. Just saying. But yeah, Shorts of California doesn't really you know, as a track on the album, doesn't really feel like any other part of the songs on the album.
Yeah.
I
like that it had a piano solo. That was cool.
Her piano work is just fantastic. For me, it's like it's more happy misanthropy. Like it to me, it falls in with Mrs. O because it feels like I'm just happy that everything is shit.
Yeah, reading this, I was like, oh, I can see kind of how she caught Neil Gaiman's eye, or if it happened the other way around, you know, whatever.
Now, I will say, I like this album the most mainly because of like the percussions in it.
You would. Yeah, like that, and I'm not even saying that to be spiteful. Like that's your music when you were in high school, when you were growing up, you worked in percussion. So
for me, it's this song opposed to the previous album, which had like really like one you know, hard hitting like banger of a song. This one had a couple, because Modern Moonlight is like just like you know just very punk cabaret, the most punk cabaret song on there. And Necessary Evil is also very much like a high fast. She's just punching the piano keys like really hard. Coke and Pepsi finally found a compromise. So
it doesn't get more cynical than that.
Yeah, right.
This dripping with cynicism all throughout this album. I think the for me, the theme for all three of these albums is I liked this. It's just not something that I'm gonna listen to all the time.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate it more than I actually like. Oh, I'm gonna this is gonna go into my rotation.
I liked all of them.
But I did like all of them. I really liked this. It was very interesting. You know, even though it was just like a drums and piano the whole time, a lot of these songs like had an interesting feel. Some of them like the more ones that focus more on like her relationships are the songs that didn't grab me quite as much. Like, you know,
right.
Me and the Minibar, First Orgasm. Those weren't like my favorite of the songs.
I like how Mandy Goes to Med School. It's a very upbeat piano number about abortion.
Yeah, back alley abortion.
Yeah.
And the girl is not very good at them actually.
Right.
There's so much to unpack with just those three sentences.
And then Sing happens, and I'm like, where the fuck did the guitar come from? What the hell?
Where's an anthem coming from at the very end here?
Also true.
That was
favorite.
Weird...
It's my favorite song on the album.
Yeah,
it was
number.
fine for me. I didn't hate it, but it was weird. I was like, what the fuck is this? This was I enjoyed this.
I have to get this note in here, or else Brady will be mad at me. Modern Moonlight. My note is they hired Nyango Star for this one because
there's a lot of that.
The rat-a-tat-tat pop-pop just comes at you at like triple speed, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. I think Mixmaster, Mastertape, Mixtape is a good experiment for us to have.
So the title is Mixmaster, Mastertape,
Mixmaster, yeah.
Yeah,
Sick.
sure.
Burgermeister, Meister Burger.
Whatever works, So I guess we're wrapped up with the music. Then.
That'd be up to you, boss. Do you
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed all these albums. Like these were all albums that I had heard of these people, and for two of them I knew like one song.
Right.
But I never like delved deep into them, and I'm glad that I got a chance to like go outside of that and see, experience them.
Right.
I'm happy.
So
that
I do appreciate this.
I'm happy that I experienced two new bands to me, and a memory was unlocked.
There you go.
Yeah, there was no Mr. Bungle in this.
No,
so,
there were
no asses on fire.
There were probably, as far as I say, from my personal.
Are you stroking?
I'm having.
Are
a
you
stroke.
stroking?
Don't smell the toast.
Don't smell the toast.
Don't smell the toast.
That's not how a stroke works, Ethan. He doesn't have a choice.
Don't go into the toast.
Don't walk into the toast.
If you just don't smell the toast, listeners, you won't get a stroke.
If you're having a stroke, cut your nose off.
There you go.
And you will go strokeless.
I won't be submitting another Mr. Bungle album because that was the only one I listened to. So after a couple of years, Mr. Bungle of Faith No More started sounding similar. And Faith No More never got horns, so you can imagine it kind of like they toned it down quite a bit after a while. King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime. I think that was one of Mr. Bungle's albums. I was like, man, this sounds just like Faith No More's Angel Dust. So now that we've derailed 100%,
as we do at this point,
Yes.
I think it's time for me to say Whiskey and Wrestling is a podcast hosted by Jason Holder and Michael Hill, fans of the show, and one of them is married now, where they talk about whiskey and intermittently may talk about wrestling, depending on...
One is married, one hates the very idea of marriage. How will they get along? Tune in to find out.
Where's the odd couple theme button? Where is it? Wait, here. No,
that's close enough.
It can shut off now. That used to not be able
impressive.
to shut off.
That's really good.
Thank God.
You can listen to
Michael,
them
thank you very much for that.
wherever podcasts can be heard with your ear holes.
I do want to point out one thing. Their latest entry is Cask Aged Wrestling on WrestleMania 1.
Nice.
So they've started some of the retro reviews.
Yeah,
good idea.
That shows you the state of wrestling right now.
Yes.
I haven't listened to that one yet, but I'm catching up on some podcasts.
Ethan, talk about a show.
Silence Your Cell Phones. Our good friends Jared Hubbard and Kevin Shelton.
Yeah.
He had to take a pause there.
Yeah.
You were very close to them during your trip. You realize that. You could have swung into Birmingham and said hi.
Yes,
That is
please
not
let me
that
use
close to
let me use
Birmingham.
your toilet so I don't have to use it.
Oh yes, you could have puked in their toilets.
You needed a toilet in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Instead of turning the car into a
depending
toilet.
on where they're at in Birmingham, it was probably a pain in the ass.
I was probably in pain and also asleep while we passed through Birmingham. But anyway, those two, Silence Your Cell Phones, they talk about TV shows and movies you should and should not be watching. They're on all the good podcast areas. They're on YouTube. They do a weekly live show, mainly on Wednesdays or whenever they feel like it. Yeah. Again, that is Silence Your Cell Phones.
Everybody's looking at me. I don't feel like it's right that Jody would get 2 plugs in this shit.
Then don't do it.
Okay.
Plug something.
What else is there? I don't know any of the other ones.
There's our friends on Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could plug one of them.
Okay.
There's
do you want me to whisper the things to you so you can then plug them?
There's a good magic
or do you
people
want
that have their
you could do the completed podcast, which I know you've never listened to.
I can whisper you their names.
You could just whisper. We could whisper you the names all
April
at once.
Dugan.
Dugan. How Scottish has she become?
April
Dugan.
April Dugan.
Under the moniker of
She's a wee bonny lass.
Welcome to Epsa Place.
that what Jay said, where she is currently streaming horror video games.
She may be currently on there right now as we're recording.
That's also true. So check it out. She's on Twitch.
Also, our
Apes
friend,
Place.
her friend, and our friend Umbra Voss are our friend. Which that's Savannah Vega, who is married to Chris
Christopher
Vega of the Completed Podcast of Team Metaphor, which includes Chris Vega, Brandon Scott Tanner, which is a assassin's name if I ever fucking heard one.
Yeah.
And another guy who gives a fuck, and the God Emperor of all gaming at Magnarp Gaming, Goshen, Mississippi, one Cameron Spanier. Come by, get some puzzles, get some minis, get some boards, get some RPGs.
Right now, you can buy Battleship on the go.
You could buy Connect 4 on the go.
You should have got one of those, Ethan, on your road trip, so it would have kept you busy.
Yeah. Then you could have vomited all over Connect 4.
You wouldn't have thought about shitting your pants.
No, he'd still be thinking about it.
For the low price of
No, because
$6.
then you'd have to be figuring out if B4 was a hit or not.
We forgot to ask Ethan, do you like shitting? do you like pissing?
I did not know.
Do you like coming?
Do you like
Order
vomiting?
now and we'll throw in farting for free.
Oh, God.
All at the
Man,
what
if you
low
had to
price
do one
is
of
it at?
if you did one of those at the same time, you got problems, man.
Man, I want everybody to stop and think about this for a second. Wouldn't the greatest feeling in the world being able to sneeze, fart, and come at the same time?
No,
Sounds like it would cause a rupture in your spleen.
That sounds like it would bust something.
It sounds like your body would
Human
just
beings are not
explode.
made to do that.
No.
If you could, like, if you knew you were going to die within the next minute, wouldn't you like to go out like that?
What, shit at 200 miles an
No.
hour? No.
No.
Like this
Not shitting, farting. Like, it's sneeze, fart, come at the same time.
Okay, if you're gonna
Coming
fart,
at 200 miles an
if
hour?
you're going to fart,
There's no two. We're not on
You
a
sneeze
fucking
at 200
plane.
miles an hour, Jay.
I think you come at like 75 miles per hour or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
Well,
something like
that
that.
offsets the sneezing.
Oh, yeah.
Someone fact check me on that. Right?
It's something that.
Kevin, look up how fast cum is.
I wasn't going to say it. Yes, type that. Don't use incognito mode, or else if you use incognito mode, you're a little bitch.
Elon Musk won't like you. Get your blue check marks at Twitter.
Oh, man.
I was gonna say
man.
something.
Oh wait, he
kinda
was gonna
cool,
say
but-
something. My
Say something,
Say
then.
something
This
cool.
better be cool.
This better be cool
This
now.
better be
You're
cool,
fucked.
dude.
Oh, you fucked up if it isn't.
Shout out to Brandon Scott Tanner because he's up in Minneapolis on the Magic Pro Tour.
Oh
right
yes.
now.
Oh,
he's a
yeah.
professional.
Good
He's a
luck, man.
professional. Yes.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Hope you make it.
Brandon, don't assassinate anybody up there unless you've been paid for it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't
Or
take any
unless it's
wooden
or
nickels.
if it secures your place in the top 4.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Kevin Gallo, a.k.a. Ronan Rooster, is streaming currently on some platform, maybe Twitch or YouTube or something like that.
No, he's on a Mixer.
A Mixer.
He's the last one on Mixer.
Right. That whole thing, Microsoft, right?
It wasn't even an old thing. It died young.
It was like the Zoom.
it was like
to watch him, you have to go to an abandoned server in China and hook in directly.
you have to go
and
to a
then you can
local
watch
bulletin
him.
board system.
all for the low price of 6.
What is he doing right now, Jay? I've forgotten how to
I
think.
like how you took the initiative and then it's like, oh, I don't know what the fuck he does.
I forgot.
That's one of those where you start and you hope that it's going to come to you as you
Yeah.
keep going,
That's
and
fair,
then it's
yeah.
just like,
That's
nope,
very true.
not gonna happen.
Every Tuesday, enjoy a wonderful role playing session with him. Role playing game session. There's a very important distinction I gotta make there now.
Words.
He might find out the speed of cum and might take the whole fucking thing. You never know. He's either going to love this part or hate this part, and it
hating
doesn't
it,
matter
no.
because Brady is just enjoying himself with the
This is
notion of
fun.
it.
I'm having fun.
There we go.
a good time.
There we go. But no,
Yeah.
again, every Tuesday, enjoy a wonderful role-playing game session, either from the dark future of Cyberpunk Red or the much brighter future, maybe present day of Pokeroll, the unofficial Pokemon role-playing game.
Are we watching Phantom of the Paradise next week? Is that what we're doing?
I thought that was EP 20. This would be 17.
What are we doing next week?
Ethan's D&D 5.
I don't want to see dragons. I don't want any dragons.
I mean,
How dare you put?
you don't want to see
Just
dragons.
dungeons.
dragons.
Just dungeons.
Just dungeon.
Just dungeons.
Yeah, the D&D
Yeah.
is for both for dungeons.
Dungeons and dungeons.
Dungeons and dungeons.
Dungeons and dungeons and dungeons. Dungeons and dungeons and dungeons.
Dungeons.
I think that's a good point to stop it on.
Yeah. Or we just keep going.
Yeah, that's also true.
Nobody ever hits the end, and then I have to go to bed at
Brady,
3 o'clock.
That's Brady Davis.
That's James McCarthy.
Hey,
that's Ethan Skinner.
Tip for everybody: act stupid, and you never have to actually do the plugs at the end of the.
I've been your host, Jody Kite. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Be more nerd.
Thanks for joining the ride.
Bye.